What's this? Tabletop Island, huh? Let's see what this is all about.
Welcome to Tabletop Island. I'm Bernardo, your host, and today we're going to be diving into the top 40 now, moving up on my vintage board game list of all time. I am so excited. I hope you guys enjoyed my top 50 list, but moving on, I'm excited for you to see these next ones. Starting with number 40, Dream Phone. I know what you're thinking. I think I said it best on Plumpy Thimble's channel. You get this really big phone here, you want this phone. I'm telling you. You ever want to find out who has a crush on you? You're tired of your friends giving you a call and saying, I know who has a crush on you, but I'm not selling. Well, you don't gotta worry about it here. All you gotta do, dial the boys' numbers and get clues. You get clues to find out who has a crush on you. Now I know what you're thinking, Bernardo, this game's for girls, not for guys. Why you showing me this? I'm telling you guys, you gotta get on the phone right now. It's not just for girls. You can give it a call too, boys. Don't be weird. This is not, don't be weird. So you take the phone and you dial the number. I'm telling you, it's gonna be like you're solving a mystery. It'll blow your mind. Yeah, it's like you're solving a mystery. Honestly, it would surprise you how much fun you would have with a game like this. I know it doesn't seem like the out of the normal game you would see for a vintage game, and it was definitely advertised towards girls, but you will have a blast no matter who you are. And honestly, if you find a good deal on it, don't pass this one up because it does go for a pretty good penny. Number 39, The Devil's Kitchen. This one is a lot more fun than I thought it would be. The components are absolutely gorgeous. It has this 3D pot kind of piece in the middle that when you push the button, whenever you fight someone, you are going back and forth, kind of playing chicken in a sense. You hit it once, does anything happen? No, next player hits it twice. You hit it 3 times, back and forth until the devil pops out of it and you lose the battle. It is such a weird game and honestly a lot more strategic than I thought it would be. If you're interested in more details on this one, I'll have a link in the description of my review. But number 39, The Devil's Kitchen. Number 38, Action Attraction. This is another one I heard from Mark over at Attic Raiders with retro reviews. It is an awesome game. It actually climbed up because I've been getting a good amount of play on it, and I can see this going up a little bit more potentially. Again, I have a bunch that I've been getting recently that I'm sure will make this list after more plays, but this is one that I can see climbing up rather quickly because it's such an easy game to get to the table. You have this board which has these kind of steel plates that shift depending on whether you do hard or easy. Honestly, you should probably always do hard because easy is a little too easy. And you're placing down these marble pieces one by one, and the goal is to get rid of all your pieces. Now that sounds easy, but some are core marble pieces and some are magnetic. So when you end up getting them so many on the board, when you start to get close, you can start to attract some of them. And when you attract them, that means you get to keep them all. That's not a lot of fun. But this game's easy to teach. It's just such a fantastically simple game, and I'm very happy to have in my collection. 38, Action Attraction. Number 37, The Crocodile Hunter game. This is another one that I found off of Matt Wilkins' channel. This was such a neat game. I loved Crocodile Hunter growing up, and if you're familiar with the game Freddy Cats, it's essentially the same game, but Matt was correct. I'm a little less afraid of a dog than I would being of a crocodile, and man is this a funny, simplistic game that looks great on the table. You have this electronic crocodile that is, when you hit the button, it moves around randomly, and if it ends up hitting one of the pins of your character, it shoots up and eliminates you or sets you back to start, which is not fun. And this game just, it's such a smart, intelligent system that it has built here. And again, if you find this or Freddy Cats at a good deal, I highly recommend picking this one up. And if you're interested in more details on this game, I'll have a link in the description to my review. Number 36, A Nightmare on Elm Street Freddy game. Yeah, you best believe I love horror, and this was no exception. I had to get this. And I see if I can get more players to the table, this one will definitely climb up. But you have this amazing 3D board. It's just such a cool system. Obviously, it has something I don't like, standees. I got over it pretty quickly. because honestly, the game mechanics are so smart. You use cards to move, and someone secretly ends up being Freddy, and it's just this paranoia feeling. I'm pretty sure this is one of the earliest renditions of a hidden traitor or a semi-cooperative game. It is so smart. Once Freddy's revealed in the game, everyone's working to get rid of him while Freddy's working to get rid of all of you. Again, if you love Freddy Krueger and you're a big fan of that franchise, this is a game I definitely would take a look at. It goes on a bit of a pricier side, so if you find a good deal, I do recommend getting it, but don't pay too high of a price. It's definitely not worth that. Number 35, the mini Boglins game with slime toilet. Yes, a slime toilet. This is a slime board game, and honestly, if you're a slime collector, this is the game to get. It is so much fun. There's one game that will sit a little bit higher, but we'll get there. But this game is extremely hard to find, I hate to say, but you have these little mini Boglins, which if you're familiar with the toy line, extremely popular. You're moving them around the board to get all of the pieces to your puzzle, which is going to be one of each one color of your mini Boglins card, along with kind of a mystery kind of crown piece. If you end up getting all of those, you win the game. Sounds easier said than done, but the game is surprisingly a little bit strategic. Even though it does have luck of the dice, if you end up landing on a player by exact count, you get to take them and dunk them into the slime toilet, and man, does that so satisfying. I love that aspect of it, obviously, and if you can get a copy of this and you get a good deal on it, I highly recommend it because this is one of the rarest games in my collection. The mini Boglins game sits there for that very reason, and I'll leave a link in the description where you can check out my review. Number 34, Wacky Blasters. This one surprised me, and in fact, this is a game I heard off of Board Games channel back when he used to do board game reviews, and man was I impressed and laughed hysterically watching that because I had the same issues he did with the game, but it did not stunt my enjoyment for it because it is a whole ton of fun. You have this 3D board where you are moving across your little kind of puffball piece, depending on what color you are, and you're taking your little kind of wacky blaster and squeezing air from its nose, depending on the number on the die that you roll. And again, that depends on the number of squeezes you get to do. So yes, it sounds easier said than done, but once you get close to that end and it just goes completely off the board over to the side, down from the beginning, yeah, you gotta start all over. If you don't get to the finish and you end up going over a little bump over that rail to the last layer, you gotta start from there, and most of the time that brings you back to start, which is not fun at all. But it is such a hilarious game, and this is one of those games where even though you're working against each other, it's such a riot watching someone actually achieve being able to get it to the end, because it's not easy the slightest. But Wacky Blasters sits on this list for that very reason, and I'll leave a link in the description where you can take a look at my review. Number 33, Pirates Gold. This is one I actually saw off of Lucky Penny on YouTube, and I'm so glad that I did. Because it's such a neat idea of a game. So you have this plastic board, it has this clear film that goes over top of it, and you're sliding your boats around to get the most treasure. If you get to a certain point system, you win. Yeah, how do you get the treasure over that plastic film? That's the fun part. If you slide your ship over top of it, that gets it magnetized to where you're dragging it around. Now, while that sounds easier said than done, there are paths that can just knock the treasure off of you, and your opponent can also screw you out and kind of just get your treasure off of your ship, move you away from it, and then steal it from you. Because yeah, that's how we play these games. But this one sits on this list for that very reason. Number 33, Pirates Gold. And if you're interested, I'll have a link in the description where you can check out my review. Number 32, Heroscape. Now, I am showing off the expansion, and yes, there's a whole bunch of it, but this was a lot easier to show off on this kind of screen here because I have about 85%, if not maybe 90% of all of this, which means there's a lot. And the box of the base is ridiculously big when I can just grab this. Yeah, we're talking too much. This game is awesome. I can see me getting this one higher on my list over time once I start to get a lot of bigger games. I've played a lot of smaller games, nothing crazy huge or crazy long, but I know when I do start to get those extreme battles in, this is going to sit pretty high. It has amazing terrain that clicks together to where you can be extremely creative on how you build your maps. You have amazing characters with their own abilities and the different kind of hit points and amount of dice they can use, different abilities. It's such an awesome game, and while I do see a lot of competitiveness-ish with this game, I'm not a big fan of that. I think the part that I enjoy the most from it is the ridiculous abilities from this game and just how unique they can react to different kind of scenery on the board, whether it's on the grassy plane, the earth plane, the water. It's such a smart concept, and I enjoy this game very much. I think, again, once I start to get a lot of bigger plays, this one will move relatively high relatively quickly, but where it sits now, number 32, Heroscape. And number 31, Grape Escape. This one is a ton of fun and the first Play-Doh game to feature on my list, but I promise you it won't be the last. Grape Escape is a fun, unique game where you have a grape which comes out of this mold where you are moving it around, and while you're rolling the die, you can slowly get different symbols that can allow you to smush your opponents. And there are amazing traps. I think Luke from Down from the Attic said it best. This is like a great concept for a Saw themed board game because it is pretty brutal to what you're doing to these grapes. Why are we doing this? And honestly, I prefer the newer version that got reprinted, which is the potato head version, because it has the fry kind of piece, which is just so satisfying when it closes down and turns the potato into fries. Come on, that is really smart. But I'm showing off the vintage one because we're talking about vintage games. And even though it's a reprint, this one is such a fun game. The traps are just super unique. It goes relatively quick, and just like a lot of the other Play-Doh games, when the Play-Doh's smushed, it stays there and it allows you to kind of jump past those spaces to make the game go quicker over time, so you're not just smushing the entire time and that's literally the game and you don't ever win. While that is the fun aspect of the game, this one sits number 31 for that very reason. But that's all I have for you guys this time. Stay tuned when we end up talking about my top 30 because we're moving up, and like I said, it's only getting better from here. I hope you enjoyed this video. Me and Volcar really appreciate Volcar and I greatly appreciate it. And it would really help us out if you like, comment, subscribe on this video. And if you're interested, hit that bell icon because that'll let you know when we release our newest video. Monday is going to be our regular board game reviews. Wednesday, our weekly update / talks. And then on Friday is my vintage board game reviews. That is all I have for you guys today. I will see you guys next time. Well, apparently the video doesn't end until Volcar says it ends. So I guess we wait.